Hey guys, today I'll be covering the musical Rent. What was something interesting with the play? Uh, I think the way they chose the characters, it was very diverse group of people. Another thing I found interesting was the plot in general and like the background, like their setting, like the way they had their backdrops and everything was perfect. Their set was amazing. And the way they project their lyrics whenever they're singing, or even like talking, like it's like, "Hey, I'm talking, what's up, man?" Like, it's awesome. I just think it was really cool. They have beautiful voices, and I love to hear that. What are the values being represented? I think a big one's acceptance. Roger's girlfriend, she dies of AIDS. Um, and so he has to accept that he goes through a tough time. He doesn't leave his apartment, he's really struggling. And it's just, that kind of hit home too, because like I've been there. Like, you gotta let stuff go. You gotta be able to accept it and move on. Live life. Don't live in the past. Live in the, live for now. Live in the moment. And another one that comes to it is living in the moment. That's a big thing. Roger rejects Mimi. She comes over to his place and she makes very aggressive passes at him, and he's just not interested. And that's something that he needs to realize, as she tells him that you gotta live in the moment. And then that leads up to a song. I believe it's Seasons of Love. Something I circled. Something I circled was mainly just the way the songs kind of flowed. It wasn't so much one thing I circled as a lot of things. When watching this, was the way the songs went from one song to the other. I just kind of got lost a little bit. And maybe it's just because I'm not very, into the arts, so to say, of like theater. Like, that's not my forte, so I wouldn't know. Issues with diversity. Poverty is a big one. In the beginning of the play, they're singing and they're talking about how they have to heat their house with an illegal wood burner. Their apartment, which is crazy, and they're living in a very, very bad part of town. And whenever the landlord comes over to collect rent, aka their old friend who lived there with them, he gets jumped in the alley, and yeah. So, and he's gay too, so, that's a hate crime, isn't it? So, there's a lot of issues of diversity in this play, and it's very hard to single out just one particular one. What's the function of the song that I chose? I chose Seasons of Love because we sang that in choir in high school, and I really liked it, and I never actually knew it was from this play, or this musical. So it's really cool. I just found that out, which is awesome. But what's the function of the song? It's mainly like I said earlier, Roger rejects Mimi, and then, it's like a living in the moment thing where she goes into it, and it's just like kind of like accepting, like being like, okay, listen, 5,000, however so many minutes, that's a person's life. Like, like that's a year. Like, you got to be able to like dignify, life in the sense of its time. Like, like it could be gone in an instant, so just living in the moment, so to say. And two questions. Has anyone ever seen this play in person? Because like I think that'd be really cool to go see. And number two is like, does your community have issues with diversity? Like, so to say, like the homeless population, or maybe people with the LGBTQ community being mistreated, being hated, hate crimes being committed against them, anything of the sort. Is that something that is in your community? Thank you.